So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Susan Barrett. I am a trustee at SHPOA working on sustainability. Today, I'm here with my friends Janet Cass and Martha Wright. We are looking at Cedar Island, and Janet and Martha are an example of things that we can do as residents of the island to improve our environment. And we're very excited. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So Janet and Martha, for many, many years, have been on almost a daily basis circumventing Cedar Island in their kayaks and picking up debris and then bringing it back and hauling it. And we're going to talk about how they're doing that, how they started. So with that, let me ask you girls, how did you get started on this endeavor?
So I've owned this property for 27 years now. Mm-hmm. And very early on, when I knew nothing, I had a red and a green rocking chair on my bulkhead, and they were part of my gardening scheme. And there was a May nor'easter, and the red and the green rocking chair ended up not only in the bay, but on the far corner of Cedar Island where you see that tree leaning over. Mm-hmm. And there they were. Mm-hmm. And I could see them. And it was like, I've littered. My stuff is in the bay. So I was a very casual kayaker. I had friends who kept encouraging me to kayak. I didn't like it that much, but I was like, I can't keep looking at that red and green chair out there. I've got to get in the kayak and get it. Now the idea of getting out there was not that big of a deal, but once I got out there, I'm wrangling this rocking chair. How am I going to get it back? And right then, a motorboat came by. And I, hailed the folks and said, hey, this is my rocking chair and I need to get it back to that red barn house. Would you mind taking it? Oh, we'd be happy to take it. So they took the rocking chair, put it in the back of their boat, and off they went. I never saw them or the rocking chair again. They stole my rocking chair.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
Oh, no, they stole my rocking chair. Okay, so whoever you are, I hope you like that rocking chair. The other rocking chair was in pieces.
Okay.
In any event, that was really how I became aware of litter in the bay.
Yeah.
This was from a nor'easter, but it was wind-driven and water-driven.
Yes.
So then I started to kayak I learned to love to kayak, and I started to kayak on a more regular basis, and I would just pick trash up. It just drove me crazy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would see floating trash. I would see trash snarled up in the grasses. And I just kept hauling it back. There was nothing formal about it. It was just right. Every time I kayaked, I would pick up trash. I would kayak whenever I felt like it. There was no schedule.
Okay.
Until there was.
So with that, Janet, how did you hook up with Martha?
No, it was very serendipitous that I met Martha. I was an artist with the Beacon Art Gallery in Stone Harbor, mm-hmm. and I had stopped in to talk to the owner, and I said, oh, you should have been here 5 minutes ago. I just took on a new artist. He's a photographer from Miami, and he's just great. So I thought, well, I really would have liked to have met him. A little while later, I'm talking to my daughter, who was a lifeguard on the Avalon Beach Patrol, and she was talking to her friend, and her friend said, yeah, my parents are staying on a house, in someone's house on 7th Street, and they're also staying with their friend who's from Miami, and he's, by the way, a great photographer. And I said, I really need to meet him. So she said, well, I can arrange that. So off we go. We get to Martha's house. We come in, and I meet the photographer from Miami.
Who is my house guest.
Right.
And then I meet Martha. And Martha asked me to go kayaking, and I said yes. Okay. And that was the beginning of our great friendship. And also, we decided at that point she was picking up trash, and I was so impressed by it. At that point is when we started together to really have the Found in the Bay.
Yeah, so we started to have the Found in the Bay, found.in.the.bay Instagram page. And then we started keeping an Excel spreadsheet of everything we pulled out of the bay.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Good.
And so Excel spreadsheets are somewhat beyond my capability, but I had a good friend create it, and we categorized what we picked out of the bay. And it was really interesting because it was plastic bottles. Plastic water bottles were the number one thing. Plastic as a category was the number one thing.
Right.
But it's broken down: plastic bottles, aluminum cans, boating stuff, fishing items, styrofoam, because a lot of the docks have styrofoam
Right,
billets.
right.
But there's a whole other category of construction debris. And so the debris that we pick up, a lot of it is alcohol related, and you can imagine people, kids, throwing things off the dock or out of the boat. A lot of it, I'm sure, blows out of a boat. But then there's a whole sector of trash that is household trash. You think about the residents who put their trash out on a Sunday night and they don't come back till the following Friday. Well, those cans roll over, blow over, the lid blows off, the stuff ends up in the bay. So we even have a section for light bulbs. Light bulbs should never be floating in the bay. But so there was a tremendous amount of household trash, and then the other category is construction. And as a building is being constructed, it's wrapped in Tyvek. The decking material is typically Trex decking. The siding material is typically AZAC. All of that ends up in the bay.
Right.
And then it's also seasonal in nature. We have what I call construction worker lunches, construction worker lunch debris. A huge move that was a change for Avalon, and something that Stone Harbor might want to consider, is we shifted to municipal trash cans that are bins on wheels with lids. They are very expensive trash cans.
We've done that in Stone Harbor as well.
Yours, however, I think are purchased by the homeowner.
Yes.
Ours are issued by the municipality.
Right.
And they're specially designed to not blow over and not tip over. We saw an immediate and market and continued reduction in household trash from when those cans went in.
That's good. So Janet, how often do you two go out? And is it all year round or seasonal that
Well,
you're
we
doing
go
this?
out as often as we can, but pretty much Martha made it. Well, we'll go kayaking at 6:30 every morning, and you be here or you don't go. So pretty regularly for years we're going out first thing in the morning all season long.
Okay, and then even in the off season?
And then we do it in the shoulder seasons,
Yeah.
and Martha does do it during the winter too.
Okay.
I'm not really here, but
Okay,
but
that's
yeah.
great.
So we use the open top, sit-atop kayaks that are in front of us. They're flipped over right now, but right about now I will be shifting to a sit-inside kayak.
Okay, right.
So instead of having the trash ride on top of the kayak with me, it's going to ride inside with me. In the sit-atop, if you get splashed with water, it's pretty brisk.
Yes, yep.
My rule is it has to be 45 degrees or warmer, or I'm not kayaking.
Right, that makes sense. That's my glove rule too. It has a 4 handle. I got gloves on.
But I have gone out when there's been snow on the ground.
Okay,
I have a
that's
couple
amazing.
of pictures in our Instagram feed of icebergs and snow.
All right, so what do you do with the debris once you've hauled it in?
Well, it gets sorted. We count it and sort it.
Okay.
And some goes in the recycle bin, some goes in the trash.
Okay.
And some are things good enough to keep, and we'll put things out on the curb like boat fenders and things like that, and people do come and take them
Oh,
back.
that's great.
Yeah.
So recycling.
And Janet keeps all the rubber duckies.
I keep up rubber duckies. I have a little collection of toys. So
Oh, that's sweet.
we have our things.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what are some of the oddest things you ever found?
Well, let me just tell you about this. Martha and I have a little contest. We'll approach something we see and we'll try to guess what it is before we get there. It's like a little competition. But there was this white thing on the ground, off in the grasses, and Martha said it's an inflatable, and I said, yeah, I think it is too. Well, we get there, and Martha flips it over, and it's one of those great big swans. Do you remember when swans were a big thing
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the pools?
yeah.
You had to have a.
Yeah.
So here's the swan. Can't fit it on the kayak. We finally figure out how to tie it to the back of Martha's kayak, and she's towing it. Well, this swan is taller than Martha because we're down
It was
in the
huge,
kayaks.
yeah.
And it is giving her attitude, right? The whole way home. It looks like it wants to peck her. And you know, swans have that kind of angry look all the time. Anyway, so sometimes it would go beside her, sometimes it wouldn't go. Martha would turn around to look at it, and it looked like they were exchanging words, and they weren't very friendly.
Oh my gosh,
But anyway,
that is
that
so
was
funny.
one of my all-time
That's
favorites.
Well,
great.
and that story continues because whenever we picked it up, it was bulk trash in Avalon.
Yeah.
And I put it out on the curb because I really don't need a supersized
inflatable
inflatable
swan.
swan. And I also put out on the curb a dresser. And I tied the swan to the leg of the dresser because it's inflatable and it's going to end up right back in the bay if I didn't do that. And I'm not paying too much attention, but I go out to run an errand and I see a pickup truck with the dresser and the swan in the back of it driving down Ocean Drive, and the swan's pecking away at the dresser.
Oh my God, that's a riot.
One of my favorite things, and I should have brought her out on the dock today, is I found a 3-foot tall, blonde-haired doll wearing a pearl necklace and nothing else.
Oh my gosh, that is right.
And I'd like to know how she ended up in the bay and why.
That's
But
a story that we'll never probably find the answer
I have
to.
kept her as a mascot. She comes out from time to time.
Well, you mentioned the trash cans as a source of debris. So one of the questions already, but one of the questions I had for you too was, any advice that you have for people around the island to prevent debris from ending up in the bay?
Well, I think that it's a carelessness. You really have to pay attention to your things because, the weather changes, the wind picks up, and if you've left things out on the dock,
They're gone.
they're gone. And I mean, I know with boaters it can blow out of the boat, but I also think you have to be really careful with your takeout lunches and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of debris that can end up in the bay.
Yeah.
I think it's even more than that. It's a level of mindfulness. Do you really need to buy water in plastic bottles?
Right.
Or can you have a metal or a glass bottle
Sure.
that you
Reusable.
refill?
Yeah.
Because we don't pick metal and glass bottles out of the bay very often.
Yeah.
The plastic ones we pick up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind, I think, is really the biggest enemy.
Yeah.
It's just not thinking about it, and before you know it, stuff ends up in the bay.
Right.
Right. So then the issue there is really one of a disposable society. Do you even need to purchase this stuff in the first place? Right. The other interesting thing that changed was when New Jersey banned plastic bags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that we would see a reduction in plastic bags, and we did.
We did.
We
but
did,
we still see them.
but we still see them.
Yeah.
And then worse, we started seeing recycled plastic bags.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
been an unintended outcome.
Yes.
of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
ban,
but there
that's
are
for sure.
definitely less plastic bags. But the whole shift has migrated, by the way, from plastic to styrofoam,
Which is the worst.
which is worse because
right,
it breaks into micro pellets.
Right.
It all breaks down.
Right.
But the styrofoam is my nemesis.
Agreed. Well, a lot of what you've described is what we've also experienced when we do the ocean cleanups, the beach cleanups, the construction debris, all of that stuff. And it's a good thing that we're all doing our best to retrieve what we can. I'm not sure that people realize how much ends up here. We're always thinking about the ocean and the beach, and the bay is just as vulnerable. And I
Well-
think that's important for everyone to realize.
Yeah, there's actually another category that I should have mentioned, and I would be remiss if I did not, and that is balloons.
Yeah.
Any type of a balloon release, aside from the balloon, the ribbons on the balloon can strangle an animal.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the animal can eat the balloon. We do pick up a tremendous amount of balloons from the bay, probably in part because of the Avalon Yacht Club, where a
Right.
lot of celebrations are held. But I'm sure that you get just as many on the beaches. So that's another mindfulness issue. Do you
Yeah.
really need balloons?
Right. And I have been noticing people using flowers now instead, which is a lot more environmentally friendly. So, a word to the wise.
I would just like to say that people don't realize how big the trash problem is.
Yeah.
We go around and collect maybe a kayak full every time we go out. But every time we go out is every day.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, I mean, we have a mountain of trash. You just
Yeah.
can't believe it.
I know it accumulates. Yeah,
And this
one
is just-
plastic bottle becomes 100 plastic bottles
Yeah.
before you know it.
And this is just one small area of the South Jersey waterways. And,
Right.
it's a lot of waterways here.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you two so much for taking your time to talk to me. Instagram, Found in the Bay. Please check it out. Please listen to these guys' advice. And thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Hope to see you on the water.
Take care.